This is In the Moment with Ziri and Janet. I am Ziri, and I'm here in the UK. And with me, of course, is my able co-host.
Hi, everyone. This is Janet Gonzalez. We're here for another episode of In the Moment. And today we are bringing to you a topic that has to do with mental health, and it is mental worrying or mental suffering. And what, Siri, if you allow me, I would like to continue a little bit more with the subject. Mental suffering, it's how I experience mental suffering, and I have studied this personally, is that the worry that we experience is not only in the mind. And I say this because we are a full human being, one full system where everything is interconnected. And towards that, I want to add that the suffering that we experience, Siri, is not only in the mind. We can suffer separate subjects in our humanity, in our human body, and it is divided like this. We can suffer our mind, we can suffer our thoughts, our past, our present, we can even suffer our future, like we have discussed in other episodes. But also, we can suffer our own physical body. How can we suffer this physical body? The physical body has only two stages. You are either in good health or you're sick. If you are in good health, this is a body that wants to run, wants to go to the park, wants to live, wants to meet people, wants to do new things, wants to get a bicycle and go out there. If this body is sick, this body only wants to lay down in bed, eat, sleep, and that would be everything the body wants to do. So as to the body, there are only two ways to exist. You're either in good health or in ill health. If you're in ill health, this adds to our mental suffering. Why? Because what we experience in the body, it's connected through our nervous system, and the signals in the brain tells you that you are in pain. Let's say you have a blister in one of your food, you are like, oh, something is there. So there is signal that is telling you through the nervous system, I am hurting, I have something happened. Maybe I had a tight shoe on. I don't know. My heart is pounding too quickly. Everything in the body knows the heart is pounding too quickly because now you have maybe chest pain, maybe your blood pressure went up. The body is the most beautiful machine that there is. This is the most evolved animal. We are animals, but we are the most evolved animals on this planet. Why? Because of this brain, because of this body, but most of it because everything has come in a perfect connection so that we know what is going on with us. So mental suffering includes not only the mind, our worries, our calamities, our self-denial, our low self-esteem, everything that can go through your mind, that's mental suffering. Then it comes the body. Am I in good health? Am I in ill health? Then it comes the emotions. The emotions will also be a telltale of how we experience this life. And it has to do with the chemistry of the body, with the hormones, right? You know, like when you exercise, dopamine kicks in, it's a hormone of happiness. But if you're sad, depressed, anxious, the chemistry of your body begins to act differently. Then you're no longer happy, you're no longer upbeat, you're no longer motivated. So there is also suffering of the emotional body, right? It's very much there. And it's guided by how good the chemistry and the hormones of the body are working for us. And I will go to a fourth subject that has to do with our own, who we are, ourselves. And this is, we can even suffer our personality. We can even suffer our individuality, how we behave towards ourselves, towards other people, how we project ourselves, how we experience life, and how we help others, how connected we are, not only with others, with ourselves, with the universe at large. If we do not understand that we are a human being that is in connection with everything else, nature, other human beings, ourselves, Ziri, we are also suffering our personality and our individuality, because being individuals mean that we have separated from everybody else, so that we can become a person. But sometimes our personality takes on reins that are unnecessary. We do not have to become a person to be so individualized, to be disconnected from each other. So in that sense, we also suffer our personality, we also suffer our individuality. So in my experience and the things that I teach, there are four types of suffering. You have the mental suffering, you have physical suffering, you have emotional suffering, and then you have the suffering of your own self if you are not self-aware. I hope I as much as possible, I mention everything that for me it's mental suffering. And please go ahead and tell us, please, about your experience with any of those four subjects, and your own experience about this.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. This is quite interesting and insightful. Your categorization of suffering, mental and even physical, personality-wise. And yeah, that's interesting. And that is where self-care, I believe, comes in. But for me, of course, let me pick on mental suffering. I think the next that will be emotion, but mental suffering, I think it would um, reveal itself, in worrying, in being anxious, in fear, and all of that. I mean, we're all human. Nobody's prone, nobody's invincible, to worry. So yeah, at times I might catch myself worrying, about something that yeah, could or could not happen. What I've learned to do, talking about, being in the moment, what I have learned to do is I actually acknowledge, the issue, whatever it is. If it's a problem, I acknowledge it. Then I ask myself, is there anything I can do about this now? If there is nothing I can do about it now, I try not to dwell on it.
Correct.
I let it go so that I can maintain my peace and reduce my suffering in that aspect. If there is something I can do about it now, then I ask myself, what is it? I try to identify possible actions I can take.
Yeah.
And what is the best way to go about doing it? Because even you see, the thing about worrying is oftentimes worry does not produce any results, no solution. It's not solution driven.
No.
It's just problem focused. And it's not even analyzing the problem um, in order to provide solutions. It's just analyzing the problem, just magnifying the problem, just emphasizing the problem. So I try to take my mind off it and try to be solution driven. And once I've done what I can do about it, then I maintain my peace. Also, mental suffering could be to do with something that is occurred in the past. Okay, I'll give you a very quick and maybe funny example. I play quiz shows on the internet, right? So you get questions and then you choose an answer. There are times that maybe I didn't really know the answer, but my mind was focused on a particular answer, a particular option. And I know I should have gone for that. But for whatever reason, I chose the wrong one. And it comes out that I failed it. There's the mental anguish. Oh, but you knew it. You knew it. Why did you know? And it happened to me recently, on more than one occasion. That's mental anguish. You begin to beat yourself up for what you know you should have done, but you didn't do. Mm-hmm. And then I wisened up. I said, okay, that game is gone now. So no matter how I stress about it, even if I slap myself, knock myself, I'm not going to take that quiz again. I'm not going, it's gone. Right. I've lost. Okay, I've lost it. It's as simple as that. So what do? Register that answer and keep moving on. Because sometimes in life also, this mental suffering or anguish is, self-inflicted. Something that is happened.
Right.
You made a mistake. It's happened. Whatever it is. You went out on a night, you got drunk, you misbehaved. It's happened. Mm-hmm. There's no amount of worrying, stressing that is going to undo what has been done. Move on and then learn from that, ensuring that it doesn't happen again. In my case with the game, ensure that I follow my gut instinct. If my mind is saying this is the answer, then I go for it. That is one way, I also try to bring myself in the present while avoiding suffering. Emotional suffering is something I've also encountered. Sometimes it could be a love relationship that went wrong, or, and they will say we're hurting and all. Again, what I try to do is what cannot be helped, I don't want to bother with it.
Yeah.
If I've made a mistake in dating the wrong person, then I've made a mistake. But I cannot now perpetuate that mistake by worrying over that mistake, reliving that mistake all over, reliving that failed relationship all over, dwelling in that failed relationship permanently. There's no point. Well, I've learned my lessons. Maybe I've understood this type of person is not for me. Maybe this is my behavior. I need to change, change it. And then I work on myself. Self-improvement comes in. Then I move on. So I'm going to end by saying that mental worrying, mental anguish, and all it brings upon us is actually self-inflicted. In other words, we have a choice. That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't want to sound harsh by saying it is self-inflicted, but we can choose not to suffer. We can choose to learn the lessons and then, of course, move on.
Yes, that's you have made a great point, Ziri. In a few examples, you have explained how mental suffering can be avoided and how it can be surpassed. And I just want to add, this is a very simple and it seems non-significant, but it is very significant that we maintain the connection with our environment. In what sense? I can give you examples, one after the other, of clients, friends that we have spoken. They have gone out and they have made an intention to, let's say, be in nature more. Just the fact that you incorporate something out there and made it a part of yourself and enjoy it and breathe fresh air and see the greenery of the trees and enjoy the flowers. We do not understand as human beings the importance of the connection with nature. I would say as another method that our viewers can incorporate in their lives, just make an attempt to really understand the connection that we as human beings have with nature, because I can tell you so many examples of when you speak to people, the bottom line is that they have disconnected with nature and they don't understand the importance of being out there and the importance of feeling free. I'm telling you this because mental worrying is because you have become self-absorbed. You self-absorbed in your calamity, in your trauma, in your drama. And when you go to nature I don't know how to explain this, but something miraculous happens where you actually understand the reality of life, what it is. And you understand that with all this beauty, with all of this, how am I going to remain worried? Why am I able to surpass this self-absorption of myself? Because that's what it is. You're self-absorbed on your own self, and you're not seeing the truth of life. So I think all of your examples and methods, and also becoming aware of the impact of nature on our lives, can make a person that suffers from worry and anxiety a new person in a few months. That's what I wanted to add.
Thank you so much, Janet. And that is true, really. Sometimes we neglect, perhaps
Yes.
out of ignorance, the power of nature. Nature itself is therapeutic. You were asking, you were saying you don't really know what it is about nature, but we are nature ourselves. We are
Correct.
from nature.
Yes.
We're part of nature. So when we let ourselves go, as it were, and become one with nature, then contrary to being absorbed within our own self, we let go.
Right.
Let
Yes.
go. Then it's like we have more to um, absorb
Right.
whatever that negative energy is that is inside us. So we will have more helping us to, take it away from us. And
Yes.
I find going for walks, very therapeutic. And I find, greens, going into woodlands, going by the river. Oh, whenever I just walk by the river, I feel very peaceful. I feel like calm with myself. So there is already power in nature. There's therapy, it's therapeutic.
Yes.
And I think we should encourage ourselves to, get out more, you
Right.
know, and
Yes.
and feel the touch, feel the love that
Right.
nature has. The wind blowing over our face, the water, the wave, the sound, the sights, the green, it's just so beautiful and it's therapeutic. And
Yes.
oftentimes it's free of charge. You see, it's not something
It
you have to
is.
buy, as it
It
were.
is.
So it will be good if we can, tap into that. Well, this episode is talking about mental worrying and stressing. I don't know, Janet, do you have more things to add to it, or you want to give your final words?
No, I think we're good. I think you put it in very beautiful words, that when we are out there and we experience fresh air, it's just going into our lungs. So you know what it's doing? It's relaxing you. When you are taking the sunlight, what is it doing? Is giving you an uprise in your energies. So you feel better, because we are made of energy. The energy is made of light. Energy becomes energy in our physicality, but at the end, it's all the sunlight. So you are connected with the sunlight, your energies improve. You're connected with the air, your breathing improves. You're seeing color, everything else is therapeutic, like you said. The soil that you walk upon. What is the soil, Siri? Everything that we have eaten through
Yeah.
all our years has been planted in the soil, harvested in the soil. So we are made of soil. A banana comes from the soil, an orange
Yeah.
comes from the soil. Everything that we eat is just from the soil. So when you walk on this earth, your body remembers you are it. And we will all go back to the soil, and we will all benefit from the soil. So I'm just saying this because the connection with nature is more relevant, more important than anyone ever can ever imagine. I cannot stress that out more. I could go in more details about this in another episode, but please just go in nature and experience a change in your life, in your thought process, in your emotions, in the way you breathe. You will become a new person in a few weeks. I can tell you that because I have seen it with myself. I have seen it with friends, with my clients, and that's all I wanted to say. I think it has been a fantastic episode and topic.
Thank you very much, Janet. Yes, indeed, it has been, and I think quite revealing, insightful, informative, educational, and I hope as you've watched it, that you agree with us. And if you do, like, comment, and also share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel on which you're watching this episode. For past episodes, also check and just go onto the channel itself and browse through. You'll see our past episodes, and of course, we're still going to have more episodes coming your way. So stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.